Fordism is commonly understood as a specific stage of economic development in the 20th century. According to G. Frederick Thompson, Fordism is a system of mass production and consumption, characteristic of highly developed economies during the 1940s to the 1960s. The notion of Fordism, first identified as a distinctive development within American capitalism by Antonio Gramsci in his Notes on Americanism, and Fordism in the Prison Notebooks, was further elaborated by the French regulationist theory of a Marxist tradition, which distinguishes between regimes of accumulation, or the modes in which capital is accumulated and profits maximized, and modes of regulation, or the institutional forms that persuade economic agents to conform to the demands of those regimes. The transition from Fordism to Post-Fordism is sometimes seen as the determining factor in the move from modernity to postmodernity. Fordism develops out of the earlier stage of Taylorism, in which the application of the principles of scientific management breaks down the labor process into a series of repetitive and unskilled tasks to be performed within limited periods of time, destroys the traditional skills of craft workers, and allows their knowledge to be appropriated by a new class of managers and planners. The principles of Taylorism were first applied in the slaughterhouses and meat packing plants of Chicago, but Fordism transposes them to the car plants of Detroit. Henry Ford's great innovation was the moving assembly line, which allowed standard production models to be built as they moved through the factory. Although Fordist production methods required a high level of capital investment, they improved productivity levels to such an extent that it was possible to pay relatively high wages, which allowed workers to purchase the very cars they were building, and this promoted a new form of mass consumerism. High wages and the provision of social benefits had the further effect of weakening trades unionism by producing the Fordmen, who identified fully with the factory, its products, and its labor-intensive ethos. The classic description of Fordism in action is Hugh Bainon's Working for Ford. Some of the social impacts of Fordism is that economic life developed around mass production of consumer goods, using assembly line techniques. As a result, life has been standardized, and conformity was expected of consumers. Scholars also talked about the Fordist city characterized by tract suburbs, mass-produced car-oriented housing inhabited by mom-and-pop nuclear families consuming the goods marketed by TV.